Mark Twain once said, courage is the resistance to fear, mastery over fear, not the absence of fear. This was one of our essay topics, and a lot of you had issues with the word courage. You confused this with confidence, resilience, fighting spirit, and sometimes fearlessness. These four things that are related to courage, but they're not courage. They're slightly different. So let's understand this a little bit more. Let's get down into the depths. Let's study courage for some time. I gave you the example of David versus Goliath. This is exactly when David is about to storm into the battlefield to face Goliath, right? Goliath, this mighty giant, is standing. And David's cousin says, David, don't you feel afraid? And David says, yes, but I know what I must do. So this itself is proof of the fact that courage and fearlessness are two different things. Fearlessness is not feeling fear. So a reckless driver going at 100 kilometers per hour in a busy road could be called fearless, but that person is not courageous. Courage as a word can be applied to the firefighter who, knowing the dangers of fire, being fearful of it, still goes inside a burning building to rescue somebody. So fearlessness and courage, two different things. Now let's get into fighting spirit. What is fighting spirit? Fighting spirit is pushing on, relentless in your pursuit, in spite of all odds, pushing against a hard wall and getting through, right? That is fighting spirit. Courage is something different. Courage may involve standing up, but sometimes it may also mean walking away or understanding and internalizing your vulnerability or accepting your vulnerability, your weakness, and walking away. So that is in contrast with fighting spirit, which pushes on in spite of vulnerabilities or weaknesses. So that's the difference between fighting spirit and courage. Next, we'll take up resilience. What is resilience? Resilience is your elasticity, your ability to bounce back, right? You had a setback or a failure, or you come back and win. That is resilience. So, continuously fighting irrespective of failures, right? You're bouncing back. Courage comes earlier than resilience. So, you could say, for example, somebody who's walking into a very dangerous surgery, a patient. The patient experiences courage first when he or she is walking into the surgery. But how they recuperate after the surgery is done is where resilience comes in. So courage comes first, resilience comes second. And then the last one, courage and confidence. Confidence is having understanding, having belief in one's capability. Courage is not about having confidence. Sometimes people who do not have confidence still have courage. That I have no confidence in my abilities. I know I'm going to lose, but I will go stand up and fight. That is courage. So, in spite of understanding your shortcomings, it's in spite of having no confidence, you're still going. So, courage versus confidence. These four words, remember: confidence, resilience, fighting spirit, and fearlessness. Very different from courage. So, if you have understood this, I think you can understand this statement by Mark Twain, where he says, courage is the resistance to fear. Courage is the mastery over fear, not the absence of fear. More such philosophical nuggets and banter. Join me in our Telegram channel. We do 2 essay topics per week, and we discuss the topic, how to paraphrase it, its different keywords, its arguments, the counter argument, the contextual elements, all of that, and how to bring it together for an essay. And I'm sure you'll have a wonderful time.